Hello, dear viewers, and welcome back to Turkish Spotlight Secrets. If you're new here, hit subscribe, tap like, and share this video with your friends who live for heartfelt, behind-the-scenes moments. Your support keeps us here, digging up the sweetest and most surprising stories from the world of Turkish entertainment. Today's update melted hearts across the internet. Cemre and Gökberk Yildirim stepped away from the set, packed their backpacks, and slipped into the Cappadocia mountains for a camping weekend they chose to share with a hand-picked circle of devoted fans. It wasn't a red carpet spectacle, it was something warmer, quieter, and somehow more unforgettable. Cappadocia, with its otherworldly rock spires, honeycombed caves, and valleys painted in subtle earth tones, has long been a place that invites wonder. Cemre and Gökberk chose that dreamlike landscape for a simple reason: they wanted to breathe, to listen, and to connect. The plan had been crafted with care. Instead of a massive crowd, a small group of admirers received invitations, ensuring that the gathering felt like a private reunion rather than a public event. The couple hoped for laughter, sincerity, and space for real conversation, and that's exactly how it unfolded. The adventure began at dawn. The selected guests arrived at a discreet meeting spot, buzzing with excitement as the couple's team organized the drive into the hills. There was that nervous, glittering anticipation in the air, the kind that makes time feel syrupy and quick all at once. The convoy moved toward the mountains, and when they reached the base camp, there were Cemre and Gökberk already waiting, dressed in easygoing outdoor clothes, no stylists in sight. Cemre's eyes glowed with the calm of someone who truly loves the wind and stone around her, and Gökberk had that playful spark that makes a crowd feel like old friends. With every handshake and hello, the tension melted. The campsite itself stole a few breaths. Tents stood neatly between boulders shaped by centuries, and the sky arched across the horizon with a clarity that made everyone look up. There was a central bonfire ring ready for the evening, and local guides had prepared everything so no one would worry about the basics. But the real magic was the proximity. Fans weren't seeing Cemre and Gökberk through a screen, they were walking the same path, sharing the same air, hearing their laughter with no filter or reverb. A gentle morning walk set the tone for the day. The group followed a narrow trail through the valley, brushing past fragrant shrubs and soft shadows cast by the towering formations. Cemre, who often speaks about her affection for wild places, took delight in pointing out the textures in the volcanic rock and the shapes hiding in the cliff faces, telling little stories about the region and about earlier visits. Gökberk, unable to resist turning any quiet moment into a shared laugh, kept the tempo bright, teasing, cheering, and keeping an eye out so no one lagged behind. People later said that there were pockets of silence where it felt like they were walking with two friends rather than two stars, two friends who genuinely cared that everyone felt included. Back at camp, a light picnic awaited them. Local staff laid out baskets brimming with fresh bread, cheeses, olives, fruit, and steaming tea. No velvet ropes, no reserved tables, Cemre and Gökberk sat wherever there was space and listened. One woman, overwhelmed and smiling, revealed she had been watching Cemre for more than 5 years. The couple didn't just nod and move on, they asked for favorite scenes, memories, and how those moments helped her through her own life. It wasn't scripted. It was the kind of listening that leaves a mark, and the warmth around that circle took root in a way social media can never really capture. The afternoon shifted into playfulness. The group split into teams for gentle games that sparked laughter and banter, and then someone suggested a spontaneous talent showcase. It was delightfully imperfect, short songs sung with shaky courage, quick bits of poetry, and small performances that revealed shy hearts growing bold under kind attention. Cemre's laughter rang out, bright and free, while Gökberk clapped like a proud older brother, hollering encouragement so no one would doubt themselves. Little by little, the boundary between celebrity and supporter faded until everyone was simply part of one easy circle. Golden light swept in as the sun sank behind those iconic chimneys. People drifted toward the bonfire as if pulled by a quiet current. Blankets unfurled, cups warmed hands, and the glow painted faces with a softness that felt almost cinematic. It was then that Cemre and Gökberk started sharing pieces of their journey. funny mishaps from set life, moments they had never spoken about in interviews, and gentle reflections on surviving the pressure of being watched while trying to keep a private spirit alive. No one interrupted. Phones hovered, yes, but the mood was reverent and intimate, as if the flames themselves had promised to keep those stories safe. Later, the night opened like an observatory ceiling and the stars took over. Telescopes appeared beside the blankets, and the couple invited everyone to look up with intention. Cemre, drawn to the quiet mystery of the sky, pointed out constellations and mused about how small and beautiful everything feels under that kind of silence. Gökberk turned it into a playful challenge, sending people in softly competitive searches for specific stars, laughing when someone found a satellite and claimed victory anyway. Under that vast dome, time loosened its grip. People who met only hours before found themselves whispering like old friends. Dinner was an outdoor ritual, a spread of traditional flavors served with generosity. It wasn't a rush, it was a slow conversation. Between bites came stories, what people brought with them into this weekend, what they hoped to leave with, and which moments had already shifted something inside. Cemre and Gökberk were present for all of it, giving that rare gift of attention that makes anyone feel seen. There were no red carpet flashbulbs, no curtained VIP corners. There was only the tender compromise of starlight and firelight and two people choosing to sit with their audience, shoulder to shoulder. Before the night drifted toward sleep, Cemre and Gökberk walked through the camp, stopping at each tent to offer an unhurried thank you. They said, over and over, that none of their milestones would exist without the people who showed up from the beginning and kept showing up still. Many spoke later about how that simple gesture cut straight through the usual gap between idol and admirer. To hear gratitude whispered at your tent door, to be looked in the eyes and thanked by name, feels like a keepsake you carry long after the last spark goes out. Music teased the edges of the darkness, a soft guitar, a familiar melody, a chorus people joined without being asked. Some drifted into song, others leaned back to drink the stars in with their eyes. The couple's presence set the tone, calm, gentle, grounded. Posts started appearing online almost immediately, little clips and candid photos that captured the spirit of the evening far better than any formal shoot could have. The comments poured in, praising their humility and how different this gathering felt from the performative meet-and-greets people have grown used to. It was sweet, and real, and it mattered. Morning came crisp and clear. The valley seemed to inhale and exhale with the first light, and the group gathered for a final photograph before breaking camp. Cemre and Gökberk stood side by side, smiling without effort, framed by faces that had transformed from strangers to companions. The image spoke louder than any caption, the closeness, the ease, the joy of discovering that genuine connection can survive the noise of fame. When those photos and stories found their way online, a simple phrase tied to the weekend started climbing the trends, proof that sincerity travels far and fast when people recognize it. As the vehicles lined up, there were waves and calls and promises to stay in touch. A few eyes shone with tears that surprised their owners, and there were quiet nods from people who had found what they needed, a reminder that the people they admire are, at heart, people like them. Cemre and Gökberk returned the waves, hands lingering out the windows, vowing to dream up more moments like this, more chances to strip away the layers and meet as human beings under open skies. What lingered most was the feeling. The trip wasn't designed to impress, it was designed to connect. It proved that fame doesn't have to be a wall. It can be a bridge when the ones on the pedestal choose to step down and walk across. Cemre and Gökberk showed how it's done. With patience, with laughter, with time made sacred simply by being fully present. And for the lucky few who shared that weekend, Cappadocia will never just be a postcard landscape again. It will be the place where a soft fire, a brilliant sky, and two generous hearts made the extraordinary feel beautifully, achingly normal. Thank you for watching this story unfold with us on Turkish Spotlight Secrets. If this moved you, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share so you never miss the next intimate, unexpected chapter from the lives of your favorite stars. We'll be here with more exclusive behind-the-scenes moments, more gentle revelations, and more reminders that the brightest names still shine the most when they are closest to the people who believe in them.